Hello and welcome to my latest stream. This time I'm going to be playing Barren Planet, the big one, the one that took me 2.5 years to write. And I'm going to be playing the default campaign that comes with it. And I'm going to be playing on the side of Nuvutech, which are the bureaucratic management speak company. You'll know what I mean when we start getting into the game. And it's the first of my games that's got any title screen music. Bit of monophonic back for you, but I won't make you enjoy the whole thing. Let's get straight in. Oh, I'm actually in the middle of a game here, so let's go new game. Not the Polar Expedition, we'll do that another day. We'll do First Landing. I'll play Nuvutech. The computer can take Avuscorp, and I'll put it on hard level because I know the game well enough. The AI in this game isn't hugely clever, so once you've mastered the controls and the general rules and everything, then you're probably best going on the hard. Let me just make sure the music isn't playing for that. No, I'll leave the music as it is for the time being. Oops. Right, so let's go. And here we go. Here's the intro. I'll just bring the music back for us. Bear with me while the screen goes blank. I'll bring it back at about 25% volume. I can't hear that, but you probably can. I'm deaf as a post. Right, so the introduction. This is the briefing for the first battle. There are 16 battles in every campaign, but you don't get to play all 16 of them. It depends which battles you win and lose as to what battles you see. So, there we go. It says, you've been assigned to command our forces on Dapra, a promising mining planet. We've also seen some of Avuscorp's ships in the area, so there may be some resistance if they've also discovered the crystal nodes. We've landed an initial force of combat droids, ground rovers and hoverbugs near some surface crystal nodes. Your first task is to secure these nodes and await the arrival of mining equipment. We're assured of your competence in this matter and further work for you when this task is complete. So we can have a look at the map, and you can see those crystal nodes there with the red baubles on them. The red baubles are victory positions, which turn either white or blue, depending on whether they're occupied by one side or another. So now we've read the briefing, let's hit fire. And it's now letting us move our units. So what I'll do is I shall move the ground rovers first. Excuse me, a bit chesty today. Now, I'm going to swap the positions of these hoverbugs and these combat droids, because as you can see over here, the hoverbugs, their hoverbugs are down there. And it's not just that I want to match hoverbugs with hoverbugs. I also want to get the hoverbugs behind this magma flow here, because hoverbugs are the only things in this battle that can go over those squares. So I want to position my hoverbugs down there, ready to make a grab for this crystal node. So first thing I'm going to do is move you there. Right, let's move these there, and then you want that way, Oh, before I move that one, I'll move this. Then you can go up there. This guy can go towards that crystal node. You can go north. He's going towards that crystal node. And then finally, these two guys can go there. And that's that turn done. So, yes, I've really finished. Right, the computer's taking its turn now. And now we get to see what the computer's done. So, turn reports, replay. There is sound in the game, but not all the time, because I thought that would be irritating. When the units start to fire at each other, that's when you hear the sound. So you can see, I'll wait until the replay is done. Right, I think it lets us move around. Yes, it does. So as you can see, they've got some units that we haven't as well. You can see they've got those air fighters, one of which has seized a crystal node. And also with these hoverbugs, one has seized a crystal node down there. And their combat droids are heading for that central crystal node, as are ours. So now let's go to our turn again. And these, I'm going to position on here. Let's go like that, and then that's. Your own unit's pathfinding isn't very good. It relies on you to find your way around obstacles, whereas the computer's pathfinding is perfect. That's because the computer's pathfinding takes quite a while to figure out where it's going and how it's getting there. With this game intended to run on slow machines, I didn't want the delay every time you moved one of your own units while it works out the best path. So yeah, you're best to find your way around obstacles yourself, otherwise your units might end up going the wrong way. So these hoverbugs, they're like little tanks that, well, hover, as the name says, which means that they can pass over certain obstacles like this. They can also pass over things that slow other units down, like these ridges, without slowing down. So let's head. I don't know why I moved the cursor that far away, because these can only move 2 squares a turn. So let's advance our our combat droids. This one can take that crystal node. Excuse me. On a scenario that has these little orbs, the object of the game is to seize all of those positions or destroy the enemy. And usually you end up just destroying the enemy, because like in this particular scenario, they've already seized some crystal nodes, we've already seized some crystal nodes, so we'll end up destroying each other to get all of them. So let's see what happens here. Yes, let's end the turn. Cup of tea while it's making its move. It takes a little while. You can skip this, but it's better to see what the computer's doing, because if you just skip to the end and see where their forces have ended up, then you sometimes miss some details of what's happening. So interestingly, that air fighter didn't seize that crystal node. I thought it might do, and that one there hasn't quite made it that far. So what I'm going to do now in my turn is I'm going to pull these back and fire on this air fighter. See if I can destroy it before it gets to the crystal node. Yes. Let's move the that one towards the crystal node. And these troops are going to take on that air fighter. Oh, that was easy. The air fighters aren't that strong. If you look at the stats, they've got only 2 hit points, which is not a lot. 2 attack, 2 range, which is their strength. They don't have to be next to a unit to fire on it. No armor, that's what the shield is, but 6 movement points. If you compare that to the droid, droid's got 4 hit points. It's still got 2 attack points the same, but only 1 range. And the shield says it's got no armor, and it's got 2 movement points, which is why they only move 2 squares, which I shall proceed to do with these. And this one will have to go there. So these are together again. So I think I might leave these there just to guard that crystal node until that combat droid gets up there. And I shall leave these hoverbugs there just to guard against the oncoming hoverbugs here. I think, knowing how the computer behaves, it'll probably leave 1 extra hoverbug behind to help guard this crystal node. Probably only send 2 forward, but we'll see. And I think it might make a beeline for that. Well, let's see what happens. It's quite quick to move because I've got DOSBox at the default setting of 3000 cycles. On a real XT, an 8088 machine, that would take quite a while. Not a huge amount of time. Yeah, it's keeping an extra unit back on each. But yeah, I see what it's done. It sent all of the hoverbugs forward, but it's used the air fighter to help defend the hoverbug on its crystal node. So we can take crystal node this time. But I think what I'll do is I shall take this. Just have a look at this. This is rocks. This provides you that shield on a terrain square. Indicates it's going to give you 2 extra points of defense, so it's like having an extra armor of 2. So that's pretty good. That protects the combat droids against attack, and will weaken that combat droid. This one is going to take 2 steps forward, so it's not going to get to attack because it's out of movement points, which are same as action points in this game. So this one will move forward, but again it can't attack. And we'll move this one behind there to back it up, so if that gets destroyed, I've got a combat droid ready to move straight into that crystal node. And then we'll weaken these hoverbugs. Then this chap is going to move up there, ready to occupy that crystal node. And I think we're safe to move these forward. So I think I'll move that onto there. And then next turn, we can send these around the back of here and start wreaking havoc. Oh, I nearly forgot. We've got this approaching my crystal node. So what I'm going to do is use these hoverbugs to get rid of it. There we are. We might get more of these. These might decide to make a beeline for that as well, but we'll see. So done turn, yes. Yeah. One of the computer player's failings in this is, I mean, it's a strength as well. As circumstances on the map change, the computer's orders change. But what that does mean is that, for instance, you saw a lot of the units there that were ready to engage me break off and go somewhere else, because it pays no attention to what the units were going to do the previous turn. It just decides afresh each turn what units' orders are. So you get behaviour like this where it could have laid into me a lot more than it did, but instead it decided, for instance, like that combat droid up at the top there, decided it would break off, and it's actually heading for the crystal node up there. So if I'm not going to come back to Barren Planet and revamp the AI, but if I build that same AI into a new game, I'll have to address that. So we'll hold fire, let's proceed. So again, first of all, let's move that into there. And these two units can attack this. This isn't going to be as easy to destroy as the airfighter was, but since it can only move 2, it's only going to get to about there next turn, or maybe there. Oh, excuse me, and I can carry on using these to attack it. As predicted, we need to move somebody into there. Also, I'll move this north into the rocks to attack that. I'm not sure if my music is audible on stream, but I shall choose not to care since it's the first day I've had any music. And I'll just check the VOD later on. Right, this is there. Let's see if we can destroy it with the combat droid. It's unlikely. In fact, it's very unlikely because the combat droid only has 2 attack points, whereas the enemy hoverbug has 3 hit points. So even if we hit for the full 2 attack points, which we won't always do. That's interesting. I didn't expect to be able to destroy it in one hit like that. Maybe it was already weakened. Although by what, I don't know. So we can leave these hover bugs there. And yeah, I'll leave them there this turn. I think maybe next turn I'll spring an attack on there. Notice we've got this unit down there as well, so I think now this unit is defending that, where that one is ready to fire on this guy there. So this has no movement points, this has no movement points. Oh, maybe it was these two that attacked that hoverbug that was down there. Yeah, that makes sense because that would have moved three squares. So we've attacked that. This one, we could either attack that or we could attack forward. I think we're going to attack forward. And we'll attack the same unit from all 3. There we are. Not that it's done as much good. The reason we're pretty weak is because I'm holding these back. But that's going to change any moment now. So, don't turn, yes. So they haven't managed to destroy my unit on that crystal node this turn. So we've got 3 areas going on. We've got this mass going on in the middle. We've got this nonsense going up at the top left. So let's deal with this first. and you can take on that. In fact, you can take on that as well. And then these can take on these units down there. And as I said last turn, this is the turn that I shall spring this trap. So there we go. And I have a feeling that we are going to draw away this air fighter now that it can see that we're a danger to the crystal node. And I think that's everything moved, so let's go next turn. No, the fighter's gone down to attack that crystal node. Except it hasn't. It's gone down to approach the crystal node, and then it decided to fire somewhere else. So we're losing quite a few combat droids at the moment. Right, let's fire their combat droid. Right, that leaves these free to go and join the fray. And I think what I'll do is I'll go down here and I'll attack this from behind. And you will go down there and attack that. You will go down there and attack that. Excellent, we've got a kill. This one can attack you. Oh, notice that the health is down on this, but there's nothing we can do about it in this battle because we don't have a mining station. Right, I think this guy is going to have to hold the fort himself then. Rely on the fact that we got the first hit in on that air fighter. Now let's take this. Oh, fired back. See if we can take it out before it causes any more damage. No, it wasn't to be, not this turn. So I think we've moved just about everything unless... Oh, we can't move this because this fired this turn. Firing uses up all your remaining movement points. So let's just see how things go. I'm glad that the air fighter isn't firing on this here, because we've kept full health there, we've retained that crystal node. There we are. Right, I think this one, because it's weakened, can hold on to the crystal node, while this can go and attack that combat droid. We're quite weak here, although we do have this ground rover. So let's use these to attack that. And use this to go around here and attack that. Well, that's not done as much good. And now we can bring this combat droid into... no, not combat droid. This ground rover into play here. Oh, yeah, we could only move 3 squares because we moved into this area of rocks, so that's not going to do much. Now, see, our forces have dwindled quite a lot, but then so have theirs. They've just got this one air fighter that they chose to leave behind there to guard this, and just this smattering of combat droids is all they've got now. So let's see what they do with them. Oh, that's interesting, they didn't occupy... I wonder why that was, they didn't occupy that crystal node. Maybe they consider this one more important, I don't know. But that leaves me to occupy that with a combat droid at full strength. 4 hits out of 4. And now let's attack this. This is in the protection of rocks, this combat droid, so it may take some killing. But we can go for that one. There we go. Do we have... Oh, we do have another weakened combat droid we can leave behind. And I will move this over there, and these can now help with all of this. So let's see what the next turn brings. It's almost as if they've given up on that central crystal node. So you can go chasing this. Oh, it's quite weak. But it's done its job. You can attack that. And you can head off this, because this one looks like it's going for that top crystal node. And then these two. Okay, that one can attack that, and this one is free to go across this magma flow and attack you. So, done on this turn. Yeah, I didn't think that ground rover was going to last too much longer. But this one is still at full strength. So we'll bring you round here and attack that. You can attack that along with your help. You can go up there and join them. And everybody else can stay where they are for now. I want to retain these because with their speed, they're the best units to go and take on that. And also, every combat droid now is on crystal node duty. So let's move this up there. Finish this off, and now all we've got to do is take that last crystal node. We'll stay out of the range of that air fighter. Oh, you've already moved, and so have you. So, done turn. I think the computer in this turn is going to do nothing. We don't even get a report. It's just holding onto that crystal node for dear life. So we'll move all of this up there, stay out of range until next turn, and then in the next turn I can move forward and attack. And here goes. Whoever attacks first is going to lose some points, so I'll attack first with this unit that's in full health. Oh, okay, that was easy. Well done, Commander. With the landing site secured, we're free to build our first mining bases in the area and extend our survey further around the planet. Avuscorp will probably continue to give us trouble, so stronger units are on the way to Dapra now. In the meantime, we have a head start, and the resources we are gathering here will allow us to maintain our units on the planet, instead of having to source all materials off-world. Please stand by for your next assignment. So there's a debriefing with every battle, and it gives you a bit of a warning of what's going to happen next, and it just gives a bit of continuity, because with the way that these battles work, it's not linear. When you get to one battle, the computer's already forgotten where you came from, so it needs a debriefing at the end of each battle to say how that battle went, and then a briefing on the next battle to tell you what you're going to do next. So, yep, there we can see we haven't got all the crystal nodes because we destroyed the last enemy unit on the last crystal node, and that won us the battle. So let's see what happens next. Having exploited the initial landing site, we've expanded into a nearby volcanic plain where there's another promising crystal node. Our mining operation is set up and we've already gathered some resources. But now Avuscorp is making another attempt to disrupt our operations. We have 10 combat droids which Avuscorp are attacking with a larger force, but our mining base has facilities to repair those droids when necessary, and this it should use to your advantage. Your task is to destroy the attacking forces. So, as it says, we've got this mining base here and 10 combat droids, and the enemy has all of this. And the reason that they're not going to slaughter us is that the mining base has a capability of repair. It doesn't yet have the capability to build new units, but it does have the ability to repair. It's also, although you can't see, it's placed on a crystal node. And every mining base on a crystal node gets you 2 resource points a turn. You can see how many resource points we've got there in that little window in the middle, 16 resources. It also tells you in the text window at the right how many resources we've got available. So it takes, let's have a look at the combat droid. It doesn't say on here, the cost of a combat droid is 8 points, I think. So it takes half that to repair it. So, right, let's start moving the combat droids, because the enemy will make a beeline for not just this crystal node, but this mining base as well, which are both in the same place. So we need to defend this mining base, because as soon as we lose that, we lose the ability to repair combat droids and the ability to mine resources. So I think we should move these up there. And then the enemy's going to advance on us. It's got a lot more units than it did last time because the battle is asymmetrical. And notice the volcano's in the way as well. Nothing can pass through or over a volcano, everything has to move around. Even the air fighters are in danger if they fly above because of all the gases and lava that are being ejected from the live volcanoes. Right, we've got a bit more time now, so I don't think this is going to be a winning strategy, having them like this, because although it gives us a wide front, I think units, especially fast units like these air fighters we see up here, are just going to go around and shoot things from behind. So, and we've got that temporarily, but I'm going to be ready to slide some of these behind there to make a complete defensive ring. Most of their units at the moment are just concentrating on getting around this. I noticed that the mining base fired back, and it has a range of 2 like the air fighters, so it's not completely helpless. You get opportunity fire in this game, so if one of your units gets attacked and it has any movement points left from the last turn, it will fire back. So we have, I will fire, oh look, it's lost half of its health points already. This is quite desperate, so let's try and kill this. Then we also need to kill this. Oh, that was easy enough. And finally, we need to try and kill this one. Yes, I've done it. So that's all of their air fighters that they've expended in a futile attempt to take out the mining base quite quickly. I don't think any of the combat droids had any damage. So that's it for this turn. Now they've just got their combat droids and their hoverbugs to move. Another thing that the computer isn't capable of distinguishing between is squares that are permanently blocked, like these volcanoes, and squares that are temporarily blocked, like... Actually, there isn't anywhere at the moment that's temporarily blocked, but if these combat droids in front were to block off a route temporarily, the computer then considers that route completely blocked. It's not a route anymore. And rather than wait for those units to move out of the way, it will go on a long trek around, which is why these hoverbugs up here at the top are up there, because they at one point considered some of this to be completely blocked down here and thought the only way to get around it is to go all the way up there. Right, so the enemy's getting close now, so I'm going to withdraw some of these units. I might leave some at the front here for now, but they're soon going to withdraw back. Because if anything, any damage that they get needs repairing, and for repair they need to come back to the mining base, which doesn't move. It's interesting having these asymmetrical scenarios. This is just the first of many. Because if you end up playing Avuscorp in this scenario, then it's a very different game you've got to play. You're having to lure the Nuvutech forces away from the mining base. Right, no attacks then, because there was no time. And I think what I'm going to do here is start to weaken these. And this can maybe move forward and get a first attack in on one of those. But these I'm going to leave where they are. And I imagine the computer's going to ignore some of those units that are out the front. Yeah, it's moving right around them. There's an example where you saw that hoverbug retreat. You saw that hoverbug retreat there, and it's because temporarily the routes down here were blocked. So, especially down this way. And it decided the quickest way for it to get... I imagine that hoverbug wanted to get into this open area in the middle there to attack the combat droids around the mining base. And it decided the quickest route was to go up there, rather than wait for everything to get out of the way here. And probably next turn it'll move right back the way it came. So let's have a look at this unit, which is probably quite damaged now, yeah. And that unit's quite damaged as well, but everything else is fine. So the first thing I'll do, I won't use my firepower on the base. I will repair you. I've got 26 resources. So let's repair you. That costs 4. And then we've got another movement point left, so repair you. Leave these at full strength for another day. So let's try and get rid of this nuisance hoverbug. Notice that they all ignored this, which is good for me. Right, now you're not going to take out that in one move, I don't think, so let's just use both of these units to attack that. Now we have no points left on this mining base, so I think what I'm going to have to do next turn, in fact this turn, is withdraw that unit there so that I can complete the ring around there, a defensive ring, and pull this one back a little bit and fire there. Let me just check on this. Yeah, it's next turn I expect to see this come right back this way. And I think this is going to have to pull back at some point as well. So let's go. So far we've not lost a droid. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've still got 10 droids left. And we've attacked, we've destroyed 4 of their air fighters and 1 of their hoverbugs. So things have been going with us so far. Ah, now they notice that droid is there. I was expecting them to send more units around the back to get at the mining base's vulnerable backside there. Oh, they've destroyed the combat droid. This is another reason for pulling units back, because it's that one that was out there. Right. Well, the back isn't vulnerable yet. Next turn that could go 1, 2, 3 if it wanted, so well, we'll do the repairs first. Oh, there's more than 2 units that need repair. This is not good. Right, I think it was tempting to use that to attack that, but I don't think I will. I think I shall complete the defensive ring around there, move you and attack that. Right, that's weakened. Right, let's try and take out this. Right, we'll leave that for now and take out this. Well, attack this, not take it out. And I think everything that has attacked, can attack, has attacked, so don't turn, yes. Now bear in mind in this game, if I lose this battle, I've not lost the war. Oh, this is bad because something's probably going to get right up and close to my mining base. Oh no, it didn't take the opportunity. So I can close this defensive ring, which is the first thing I'm going to do. Right. Although if I lose 1 more unit, then this is vulnerable. So let's see who needs help the most. You're down to 1. So you definitely need help, and I think I should go with the corners again, because they're the most vulnerable. They can get 3 units bearing on there and on that one. I suppose they can get 3 units bearing on there as well, so it's each unit's just as vulnerable as another. Actually, I tell a lie, they can get 3 units on there. They can get 5 units bearing on that. And the same here, all of those 5 could fire on that. And if they did, they'd probably take it out even at full strength. So let's start attacking again. So, oops. Oh, you can't attack because I've just moved you 2 squares. You can attack. There we go, we've got a hit. And I think these again should go for that. Okay, and that just leaves this, and we'll attack the one that's not hiding behind rocks. See how things go again. Yeah, we've lost the complete defensive ring now. Which I think means we've probably lost this battle. So, what units need help? Oh, only 2 need repair, and I don't think this one is that important, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to repair you. And I'm going to fire at you. Not that that did me any good. So let's move units to the front. Right, before I move that one from the back, yeah, let's try and kill you. Then this one can attack that hover bug. Oh, that's good. They're starting to crumble a bit now. You can attack that hover bug. So it's not looking as bad as it was a minute ago. That's everybody moved. But it all depends on how long the mining base lasts. And as you can see, they're attacking it directly now. Again, with the blockage, these units back here are doing nothing because my guess is they're trying to hit this or this, but they can't find a path there because the road units are in the way. And I think the game might work better if, for the purposes of pathfinding, they ignore the road units in the way. Did I attack with you? No. There we go. So that's an immediate danger taken out. Because we don't have a complete ring around the mining base anymore, I think I could bring this. And then the last thing to do is... Yes. Well, not completely safe because next turn that is just going to move there. One of these 2 is going to move there, but we're as safe as we can be for the time being. Mining bases sadly can't repair themselves. Now, if we're lucky, it won't destroy the mining base before we've brought them down to parity with our combat droids. But I don't think we're going to be that lucky. Although we're doing quite well. Right, the only unit that can threaten us directly next turn is that, so I am going to waste turn firing at that. I'll notice that we were at 3 last turn, we're at 3 this turn, which means that hoverbug that fired on us didn't cause any damage. Right, so let's see what we can do with these. Now, I have to make a choice this turn. Do I use my base to fire? Or do I use it to repair 2 combat droids? I have another option, which is to use it to repair 1 combat droid and then use its remaining point to fire at something. I think that's what I'm going to do. So that one wants repairing to full strength. And then either of these can threaten us this time, but then so can this. So let's attack you. Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping to take it out this turn. Because next turn I think I'm going to have 3 units attacking the mining base. And that might well take it out. Yeah. So now we just try and take out as much of their forces as we can with what we've got left, which is probably not going to be much. I did have a resign option when I was developing this, but I couldn't get it to work without crashing things. And I never found out why, so I just ended up giving up on it. So even though you might know you've lost a battle, you just have to fight it out to the end. Let's see if we can destroy this as we go down. No. So we're probably a goner this turn. And it insists on moving its last units. Your performance was somewhat substandard, Commander. The board have discussed this matter at their recent meeting and have come to a decision. In light of your earlier successes, they've opted to retain your services for the time being, but you are under warning. Our facilities require robust protection, and as our strategist, you're expected to effectively manage the forces at your disposal for that purpose. The board will monitor your performance of these duties closely in the coming months. Stand by for further orders. Oh, so we get telling off. And on the next scenario, our consignment of laser tanks has arrived and the first of them are ready to be put to use. You're required to use these along with some light units to secure an area where we wish to commence mining operations. Occupy the key strategic positions marked or alternatively destroy any Avuscorp units you might find in the area. We have intelligence of theft of military units from a nearby planet and we suspect Avuscorp might have them. If our suspicion is correct, you're likely to find laser tanks among any Avuscorp's patrol. And there they are, lovely laser tanks. But luckily we have laser tanks as well. So the objective, you can see the little orbs there, is to seize these strategic positions that pass between the volcanoes. And this one in front of the cliffs. And that one in the gap between the cliffs. Which, as you can imagine, they're going to seize quite quickly because their units are pretty close to them. And yeah, we're going to seize the one up there. Right, before I start this scenario, what I'm going to do is have a quick break, make myself a cup of tea, because my throat's getting dry, my mouth's getting dry, and then I'll be right back to fight another couple of battles. So hang tight, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm back, thank you for your patience. Got my fresh cup of tea. So hopefully with the power of tea I should win this next battle. So I just read out the briefing before I went on a break, so let's get on with the battle. So the first thing I'm going to do is occupy that victory point, because if I let that fall to the enemy, and if they take these other two, which they are going to do, they would win this battle. And then let's start advancing these. This battle should be a lot quicker than previous ones, because all of these can move 4 squares. What will help us is if they use their heavy and valuable units to take those those victory positions. At least the one on the right, if they can waste a tank holding on to that, it gives us a good chance of eliminating what gets sent to us. No, they haven't. They've used a hover bug. Right, so we need to take out these 4 planes as quickly as possible. And I don't think we've got any chance of taking out that one, because to do so, yeah, the closest we can move, these tanks have got 4 moves, and they don't do well on these rocks. Yeah, they take 2 movement points to get on the rocks. So the best we could do is move there with 3 points and then get to fire at that one, which I think is what I'm going to do with this tank. They are powerful though. They've got 4 attacks, so they can one-shot these units. So I think the next thing we're going to do is move this there. These can one-shot these units, but they're not certain to do so. So I think what I'll do is actually move this a little bit closer. My idea being that if that hadn't have killed it, I could have moved another one there and had another go. As is the case here. There we are. Now they might send that air fighter up north, but if that's the case, then I'll probably use one of the tanks to intercept it. Didn't send anything up north, that was good. So again, I've got to be careful of these tanks, but they're a bit of a distance away. So let's move this there and attack that. This airfighter's taken some killing. There we go. Right, do we go for these or do we go for the hover bug? I think we go for these. So we've ripped right into them, but they do have these 2 laser tanks here. And I suspect that laser tank is going to fire and possibly take out one of these. no. I don't know where the laser attacks are going. Maybe to defend that unit, because it always likes to keep an extra unit to defend the victory points. Or rather, to defend the unit that's defending the victory points. So, well, that's given us a reprieve. So what have we got? Whatever it was that attacked this caused absolutely no damage at all. So let's try. Oh, that was a shame. Maybe I should have used all three of these to attack that one. Right, you can attack that. You can attack that. Leaving this one free to get the first shot in against the enemy tank. I'd prefer to have these support vehicles in to help with the tank, but they're currently busy. So this is the first time I've played this scenario where they haven't sent something up to try and take that victory point with that tiny little ground rover up at the top there. Aha! So that's where that's going. The thing is, that is no match for that, so if that's all they're going to send up north, I can simply ignore it. And what I'll do is I'll bring these in to help against this. So these can help soften that up. We'll ignore the hoverbug for now, because it's not a big threat. That one's... I wonder if I should retreat that tank. Just use it to kill that. There we are. Yes, that worked out. And now they have one tank. Where have they sent it? They've got it there, which is probably, as I say, helping to defend that. But they're going to have to move it forward soon. The way the AI works is it scores everything, so it decides how important each of these units is to attack, how important each of the victory positions is to occupy. It's also, if it has any units to defend, like its own units, it scores how important they are. Then with all these scores, it will then decide which are the most important objectives and then start allocating units to them. So if it turns out that it considers this lot more important than this, it will send that tank forward. And that's what it's doing now. But I've got 2 tanks and all of this to go against that tank. But bear in mind that tank is at full strength right now. And it's sending this up north. So is this the one I was sending down there? Yes. And then this I will put in formation up there. Right, so they haven't killed that tank, but I think they will on the next turn. And this, I'll send this up there and head off that. Oh. So it's ignoring everything I've got here with that tank, and it's going up to help with that. So, oops. Oh, no, that's what I wanted to do. So let's... I'm not going to move that next to him because he'll attack. And these tanks are pretty strong. And to move you right, let's work out where he's going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's not going to be within range of that next turn. So I'm going to leave that tank there, and it can fire on that one when it goes up north, which is exactly what it's going to do. It's trying to seize that third victory position, and that's the only free unit they've got left now, because this one's occupied, that one's occupied. So that's almost certainly going to go up north. And there it goes. So you can go up there and fire on that. Ah, that's destroyed. That's great. I'm glad I used that one at first, because it means that this lot can continue down here. I'm going to split my forces. Right, that can't fire on there because it's used up all its victory points. But right, these can stay there. I think there's no point in not doing this. Yes, I know it fired back, but these units have no other use now. So even if they get destroyed leaving that tank, it's hastening the inevitable. Right, we've got this up here which fired this turn. So there's nothing else for any of these to do. And yeah, you fired at that, which I expected you to. There we go. And just for the show of it, we'll occupy that point and send this over there. We'll fire at that. And we won't just move up. We could move to this square or that square, but all we're doing is exposing this to death next turn. So let's not do that. It's inevitable now we're going to win this one because, yeah. Well done, Commander. With Avuscorp neutralised, we are back on course to achieve our objectives. We have plans to commission another survey on the volcanic plains with a view to establishing a further mining operation. For the time being, our laser tanks will be deployed elsewhere. You should have enough light units to deal effectively with whatever trouble should come up. We'll be back in touch with you when the mining operation is ready to start. In the event of any harassment from Avuscorp... Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was the end of the sentence. We will be back in touch with you when the mining operation is ready to start in the event of any harassment from Avuscorp. In the meantime, please stand by. So we're going back to volcano territory, presumably setting up a base that we're going to be defending like last time, only hopefully this time doing a lot better. And here we are. And seeing the computer working out its moves there, we know that on this one, the computer will move first. So yeah, we've got a few more units than last time to defend our base. They've just got 4 laser tanks. But, as you can see there, we've got 2 choke points where we can stop the laser tanks getting anywhere near our base with a lot of units to do so. So I think what I'm going to do... Oh yeah, let's see where they send their tanks, but we can guess they're going to send them towards our units. I think those tanks can get over those ridges, they're just choosing to avoid them to get more quickly to their destination. And because I can't select that unit, yeah, we can't see how the tanks interact with the ridges until we have tanks of our own, or until we read the manual, which I'm not going to do in the middle of a game. So I think what I'm going to do is leave those there, leave these as spares, I shall leave one spare behind. Close up these gaps so that the tank can't physically get near the base. And then with the rest of these units, right, where are they going? That one's obviously going up north and it's going to go this way. I suspect that the rest of them are going to try and make their way up this way. So what I'll do is I will send these up there to occupy those ridges. And I'll send, yeah, let's have that one occupying that ridge. Some things, and let's see what protection these get from ridges. They get one extra armor from a ridge, but the ridges take 2 movement points. And then these spare troops we'll send down there. The tanks are going to slaughter all of these, but we can hopefully soften up the tanks before they get to the mining base. That's the theory. Oh, and can we build? I forgot to check whether we can build in this scenario. Let's try. We can build hoverbugs or combat droids. Combat droids are stronger, but hoverbugs are faster. I think we'll stick with combat droids because they will they'll keep this wall replenished if we have enough combat droids to stop the tanks getting in. Notice that we can't build these yet. So, right, is that? Okay, that needs 2 more points to move back there. So let's see the inexorable advance of the tanks. Oh, now that's interesting. I thought that top tank would have gone up around this. So that's interesting. Maybe they are engaging with these rather than going straight to the mining base. That one at the bottom is definitely going for these ground rovers. So I think these ones should hold this line. These should sneak around there. Not exactly sneaking, since everything is open on the battle. And this, now this is going to put itself in danger. But I think you should go down there and attack that. There's the slight possibility that 3 ground rovers can kill a tank in one turn, but it's only a slight possibility. It relies on the tank having the tank's armor being completely bypassed, which is possible but not likely. And let's build another combat droid. The numbers under there are the costs. This is the only time you see the costs of the units. That was an oversight in the interface, really. I should have at least displayed the repair costs for existing units. Right, let's see what happens. I imagine that that ground rover is going to get attacked and maybe killed. also one of these ground rovers got attached. Yeah, this one. So I think you should retreat for repair. This is going to be a sacrifice, but you should soften up that. And now these should move forward. In fact, that one should have retreated. And I think this should build one more of these, and we've got a nice big solid wall of these there now. Yeah, that tank one-shotted the completely healthy ground rover, because this is the one that needs repair. And shall duly retreat. This also needs repair, so I think this should retreat. Right, so I haven't managed to destroy a single tank with all of this, which is not a good start. Right, this is not going to make any more combat droids for the time being, because it has 3 of these to repair, so I need to keep my resources for that. Let's see how much of that front line survives. Ooh, that's a nice surprise. Right, so you move out of the way, you move out of the way. I think actually I'm going to send this directly up north. This 2, 3, 4, but I'll make sure I guide it around here properly. Close the gap. Now this, I think this can go there, because what I don't want is for one of these tanks to go there and then fire over the volcano at this unit there, which is, it would die. So now we can repair 2 of these. So repair that one and that one. Yeah, it takes 8 resources to repair each of those, so they cost 16 to make. So done turn, yes. Just going to load the clock and keep an eye on the time. Yeah, I think I'm going to get about halfway through this. I'll probably finish this battle, but I'll get about halfway through this campaign before I call it a night. So, oh, here we go. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'll attack that. That's what I would do. But at least for that one turn, it stopped anybody getting in and destroying this. So these go there. You go up there, staying out of the way of the tanks for the time being. Maybe one of the tanks can attack it this turn. Right, let's just check what we've got here. Right, we've got two that need repair, so that one, I think that one should go out the other way. In fact, this can repair both of those this turn. Ah. Right, so it's the ground rover itself that's plugging that gap. That was a mistake, so let's see where that leaves us. We must have softened up these tanks a little bit. Right, so they've chosen to send only one tank up north. That is a great help to us. Right, so, but it does mean that these two ground rovers are in quite a bit of danger. Let's move this out of the way. Close these up for now. It's tempting to send this up there, but I don't think that's a good idea. And also, for the time being, let's leave some resources available for repairing units rather than building new ones. Oh. Well, we've lost a ground rover, but those two ground rovers up top there are completely intact. So do we sacrifice you or do we bring you in? I think we bring you in. I normally wouldn't repair when something has still got more than half its hit points left, but I think that was about to die. Right, you can attack this, and hopefully these will distract the tanks. I'll leave this one out of range, and you can repair that. I think we're going to lose one of those ground rovers at least, because I think that one in there next to the volcanoes is going to get all four of those tanks firing at it. Oh no. Two of the tanks. Right, so another one against this. These tanks seem to be invincible, but they're not. I have destroyed them before, even on hard level. And you can now create another one of those to replace what's lost. Let's see how long these two survive. Wow. This one's hard. Let's run away. And I've got 8 points. I could make another combat droid, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think I should use those 8 points to repair this. Right, we need to advance these. Right, let's repair that. This may be a fatal mistake because the tanks are going to find a way in now. Yes. Right, that's repaired, so you can fire at that. Then you can use your point to attack that, and it's completely futile. I may as well withdraw these now because the blockage has been breached. The enemy's got in. Right, let's see what this has got. This actually, I thought this would be more damage than that. So we'll just concentrate on killing that first tank. But I don't think what we've got left is going to stand up to 4 tanks, 4 laser tanks. Yay, you managed to destroy one. But you saw the amount of firepower that we had to bring on to destroy 1 tank. And that's with various softening up that we did before. Right, so we can no longer repair. And we've got these 2 tiny little things to use against these 3 tanks. So I think next turn is the turn that we'll be dead, because these can one-shot me. Yep. The board is dismayed at this setback, Commander. With your recent successes, they were given the hope that you had adequate proficiency in your field, but this misstep of yours has put that into doubt. We now lack the funding for any more heavy units to bolster this area's defence. Our drones are conducting surveys into areas that might be safer from the Avuscorp laser tanks. We are also looking to upgrade our mining bases so that more advanced units can be produced there on the battlefield. Please stand by for further instructions. Right, I've got 20 minutes left until the time I intended to finish. So we'll start on this next scenario and see what happens. Right, we've identified a rich area of resources on the magma plains with several crystal nodes ready for exploit. But Avuscorp have also been surveying the area, which is a cause for concern. We've set up a mining base in the area, but it appears that Avuscorp have done the same. Your task is to build up a force of light units to defend our mining base while attacking theirs. We cannot allow Avuscorp to establish a strategic location so close to ours. Right, we get to move... Oh, no, we don't get to move first. because report is ready to replay means the computer's taking the turn. And they produce an air fighter. And all we've got is this, but let's have a look at the map first. So there's a crystal node there and a victory position. And a crystal node there. So 2 crystal nodes. So we need to at least seize 1 before the enemy gets to both. Now I imagine that the enemy is going to produce 2 fighters. Let's see what we can produce. We could produce a fighter like them, or we can produce one of these. This may be a fatal mistake, but I'm going to go for one of these, the ground rover, because my guess, I might be wrong, but my guess is that this is going to go for that, and that the next one they produce will go for the other one, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'll take an air fighter 3 turns to get to there from the enemy base. It will take this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It'll take us 3 turns. So if they start sending this one that way, we need to be ready to produce an air fighter of our own, which will get to the crystal node in 2 turns. So this may have been a fatal mistake already, but we'll just see what happens. Oh, this can't move this turn. And that's moved, so let's just see what transpires. Oh, that's interesting. They're using the air fighter to defend the base. That's good, because that gives me enough time to get this over to there before the computer can do anything, which means I can produce another ground rover, which are much stronger units than any of the others. Yeah, that fighter is just staying there as a defensive unit. So you can head towards there. You can head in this general direction, and I can decide on a future turn whether it's going to help you defend that or whether I'm going to head up towards this. We'll see what the computer does. Oh, combat droids. Right, so you go there. You can go there for the time being. And now, do I create combat droids or do I create something else? I think maybe hoverbugs. Now, of course, I'm not getting an income. This is the interesting thing. I'm getting an income from this. I think this is sitting on a crystal node, so I'm getting 2 per turn. But it needs a mining base to sit on a crystal node, so I'm not getting extra income from anything that sits on here. And the same with the enemy for that one, because you can't build mining bases in this campaign. Right, so that's there. This scenario can end up being a war of attrition. Right, I think that can go there. And in fact, let's build another one of these. And this can just guard that. And if you are coming for this crystal node, I know what I need to do. I need to send things this way to help defend that. And I'm going to save up for another ground rover. I'm not going to build anything new right now. Hopefully by the time those combat droids get around here, that ground rover will be dead. Can we reach it this turn? We can, but I would rather, and that he can reach us as well, that's the thing, but we are on a ridge. So we're defended against him. And if it gets a hit in on this ground rover, I can bring out that ground rover. Right, one more turn and we can create another ground rover. Right, nothing at the moment happened there. So let's move this down there, still on the ridge. Okay, and it didn't get an attack in. Now we can move that there and attack from that ridge. And this can move down here and attack from that ridge. And most probably it's going to ignore us all and move there and then there or there and attack that. But we have another one of these. That is exactly what I expected to happen there. So what effect has that had upon this? It's completely healthy. It's had no damage at all. So let's get another hit on you. You can get another hit on there. You can attack that. We can't keep this in protective cover, but we can do this. At a certain point, the computer would probably try to retreat this. But not yet. That's still in reasonable health. I'm not going to withdraw it yet. Let's first attack this from all sides. That is on a ridge, so it's going to take some killing. But it is outnumbered. Yeah, no damage onto this, so given that it's ignoring everything except that, we'll move this there. There we go, that's killed it. Right, we'll build a little army down here. So what's coming now? These are coming, and I think we should let them come. Or even maybe move forward to meet them because they are slow. But we don't want them to get the combat droids into there or onto there. So yeah, maybe we should let them advance a little bit more. Right, so I realise what this fighter's doing. It's exhibiting a bug. It's defending this, but what it's doing each turn is it's looking for a square that's within range of this, between that and the enemy. And it's failing to consider the square that it's already sitting on as suitable. So that's why it's moving each turn. It's not a really important bug to fix. But yeah, I think that's what I have the same problem with units that create other units. They would look for a square to stand on. This is mobile units, which in later campaigns these units move. They'd look for a square to stand on in order to create the thing they wanted to create, and they would fail to consider the square they were already standing on. So each turn the mobile constructor would move because it didn't consider the current square a suitable one, and that would use up movement points, which meant it couldn't create. And then the next turn it would move again, and it would just keep moving. And I had to correct that bug in order for mobile constructors to work. So these, now the question is, do I move these two to attack that? If I wanted to do that, I'd want to put them there and there. And I don't believe I can reach those. I can reach that square with one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then I couldn't fire. So I think I should let this come 2 more squares towards me. And by that point, either I move these out there and flank it with 1 to there and 1 to there, or I just let it come here. I don't want to create anything else at the moment other than one of these, because I think I'm going to need quite a bit of strength to take on that. Alternatively, excuse me, I think I might build a couple of air fighters, because they've got a range of 2. But since I don't need them now, because I'm not going to attack that now, I'll wait, and then by the time I get 16 resources I can decide whether I want 1 more ground rover or 2 air fighters. So as for these are going to stay there. You're just going to send endless combat droids against me, aren't you? So now, because that didn't move where I thought it would, I think what I will do is I shall wait for you to go presumably there and attack that, and then this can leap over there and we can flank this on 2 sides, and then this can also move down there and attack there. Now the computer may defy my expectations again, but we'll see. No, it did precisely what I thought it would. Oh, this changes things. Right, so you go there and fire at that. you come back. I bring you into play with your 3 hit points left. And now my choice is, do I withdraw that back there? No, I think I withdraw this onto there, and you can retreat for repair. Oh, and one last thing. You can attack that. There we go, that's that dealt with. And this can return back here on the next turn. And we'll keep dealing with these single combat droids like this until we've got the strength to sort them out entirely. So you come back there, you come there, and this, just somewhere to go, will go there. And this is already moved. Right, these can do a bit of a shuffle. You can go there and fire. You can fire. You can go up there. You can immediately repair this. Right, you've used up all your movement points to get back there. Right, where's the next infantry? There it is, so it's going to take a little while to get to me. Next turn you're going to come and attack this. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's just see how many, oh, it takes 2 movement points to get there and 2 movement points to get there. That's okay, yeah, we'll move that back there. This is stronger, so this can go at the front. I'll move this back there. And this can go up there, and then you can move back onto there. And at the same time, this is coming back here. Okay, I thought that you would move up there, but never mind. Oh, right, so you need to retreat immediately. You can go down there and fire at that. You can go there and fire at that. You can move forward there. You've already moved this turn. Next turn I need to decide what I'm going to do with that, and I think I'm going to create a couple of fighters. Even though I've got that this going back for repair, I think what I'm going to do is make one fighter here, and you can move backwards, and then this can brace itself, this lock can brace itself for the next attack. So Allow the computer to send the combat droids to their deaths. You go there. And I think at the moment, before I take the second crystal node, these can assist this lot in holding off these. Hopefully I won't have to keep sending these back to base to get repaired. Ooh. That was a good time to be making air fighters. Decided that that's no longer going to defend the base. I'm imagining maybe this will defend the base. Or it may just decide that the base doesn't need defending. Right, now do I send these forward? Yes, I think I sent these forward to defend. It's not worth sending these forward because it will only reach that square. But these can go forward to help in the defence there. And this will take a few turns to repair that. Okay, it's decided it does want to defend the base after all. Right, this needs to get retreated, but first of all, yeah, we'll get some shots at the combat droid, and I think this maybe shall finish it off. But there is another one coming, but we've got a few turns to prepare for it. So my idea of not having to retreat more of these is in vain, but never mind. Right, one more turn and we can repair that one. Okay, so I think I'll withdraw this back here. This can go there. This can repair that. Let's see what this does. Yep, sending that there. Good, the air fighter is continuing to defend their base, so I don't have to worry about that coming and wreaking havoc. Ground rover, the healthy one, can go there. And this can go back there and await repair. Now the question is, do I send these forward and harass this? I think the answer is yes, because they are safe. If I sent that there, the computer would have to expend 2 hit points, sorry, 2 movement points to get close to it, and it wouldn't be able to fire then. So you fire on that. this one isn't quite as safe. If I send it up there, yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll send it there, that's not on the computer's path. Yes, didn't even get to the ground rover. So that's moved all it can move, that's moved all it can move. The air fighters are doing their job. So it's a slow, grindy process, but the computer's wasting all its points making these and sending them individually, while I can save up points to get my ground rovers in good repair. And how many do I have? I have 3. Yeah, I think if I send all 3 up there, along with the air fighters, I think that will help. So these air fighters for the time being can withdraw. Actually, first, you. Let's move you back there, and you there. And then the air fighters can move back here. And you're waiting there for repair. And let's, oh, it's sending its fighter forward again. Oh, it's doing it in earnest this time. It looks like it's going to have a jolly good go at us with the air fighter. So, to head that off, I will move you forward and attack. Move you forward and attack. Surprisingly, that didn't kill the air fighter. There we are. That sorted it out, so I don't need to send this one forward. And then next turn, if you send your guy there, I can move both of these up to protection. Oh, although, yeah, that will work. Send both of these ground rovers up there and attack the combat droid, and bring this one in as well, and this one if necessary. So do we have any more droids? Yeah, we've got one more on its way. I almost feel that we could start sending units forward to catch these closer and closer to this, and then at some point just move up there and take that. So let's... Oh, you haven't been repaired yet, but now you have. And yeah, that's it for this turn. So I'm thinking now, actually, it's gone 9 o'clock, it's gone the time that I intended to finish, and this battle looks like it's going to take a good while longer, because not only do I have to send units up there to capture this crystal node, but then I have to gather my strength again, including any repairs, and go on and take on this. And these are pretty strong, as you can see from my strength. Well, I could have looked at that one, but yeah, we have 8 hit points, we've got armour, we don't have a lot of attack power, but we've got a lot of attack range. And all the while, this will continue creating units. So we spent, well, I think half an hour so far on this battle, and I think we could be spending half an hour more from this point. It looks like we're at the tipping point, but it could be another half hour to finish this off. So I think what I'm going to do is call it a night there. Now let's see if there is anybody to raid. Tom DeGossa's on again, but we raided him last time. And I don't really want to raid the same person twice. We have Drothmog, a friend of mine, who's playing I think a modernish game. Horizon Forbidden West. Oh, Sultable. I've not seen Sultable for quite a while. Yeah, let's check out Sultable, and for the moment, bear with me, I'm gonna... In fact, you don't need to watch me do all this. I will take us over to the stream ending page now. And I'll save this Barren Planet game so that we can continue either next time or sometime in the future. Yeah, I am definitely going to be streaming next Sunday. I may stream Tuesday and or Thursday. The days I've got free for streaming are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. And I tend to avoid Saturday. But yeah, so keep an eye out on my channel, on my social media. All the links are on, or some of the links are on my Twitch profile. So for now, we'll call it a night, and I'll see you next time.
For saying scaffolding for killing some creatures. It's perfectly acceptable. Crying Stan, dude! I didn't know you live. I didn't know you live did.
It's easy.
I am well. What were you playing? Good morning, Looper.
Rebels. I heard they were in the area. Best way to get rid of them is to take out their leader.